What's going on, sports card hobby family? It is another day. It is another sports card video. It's football Sunday. My Saints are on a bye week, so I can save the tears. I don't have to cry away another Sunday evening after my Saints blow a lead or somehow just flop. Anyway, if you're new here, you're looking for daily sports card collectible style videos, and you have come to the right place, my friends. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below. We're a couple hundred away from 20,000 subscribers. Tell your friends and your family, let's get over the 20,000K hump. Huge shout out to today's video sponsor, DC Sports 87. You might be thinking, man, I've got all these cards laying around that I want to sell on eBay, but I just don't feel like doing it, doing the listings, the packaging, all the rest of it. You can shoot them off to DC Sports 87. They will run them at auction for you. Bada bing, bada boom, and you've got your cash. All right, friends, we are coming up to the end of 2023. And like usual, like every year, we're kind of entering into the holidays and everyone's getting all ready for the holiday season, not paying close attention to cards or buying cards as much, so prices typically do dip anyway. But we're also in like a weird state too, where there are people that are moving out. I know there's people that are moving into the hobby and so forth, but I also just see in my comment section, it's a mixed bag where a lot of people are like, you know what, I'm going to take a break or I'm going to sell off. I had a few comments here recently, I'm going to sell everything and move on. And I think with hobbies, that's pretty natural. I mean, some people, they get into a certain hobby and then they get out of it and then they get into another thing, they come back to it. That's pretty typical. You know, you might play golf, a lot, and then you're like, you know what, I'm gonna take a break from golf, my back hurts. Oh, here's cards. Oh, here's something else. And so it's fairly common for this to be something that filled a void at some point, especially during the pandemic. What do you think when everyone's back home, you're hitting your midlife crisis like I did going back 5 years ago. And, this is the thing that you found. This is the thing that you locked in on. Hey, now, pandemic's over. We're post-pandemic now. And I think a lot of people do think like, do I really want all of these cards? Maybe they do want some cards, but they don't necessarily want everything that they've got. And so you're seeing consolidation into maybe adding a few other big cards or just, hey, you know what? I'm going to sell this off and go on a really cool vacation. And I think that that's pretty typical these days. But what does it present for us that have been waiting in the wings for some of these cards to come out of the woodwork where you're like, man, this thing sells like once a year. Then all of a sudden you're seeing a few of them pop up. There might be a good deal to be had. And that's the one thing that I've just seen clearly over the last few months. A lot of cards that were really out of range starting to come back in range. And that's exciting. It's actually the tougher part for me is just trying to figure out what do I want to move off of to get into that thing that I never really thought I could get into. And I think that's what a lot of people are doing. A huge example of this lately was Adam, Real 27 Guy on IG. I believe it's the Real 27 Guy. He moved out of a lot of his collection and high-end cards to get into a very high-end six-figure Kobe card that he never thought that he would be able to have a chance to get. Very limited card, kind of one of these Kobe Bryant grails, but had to move off of cards that he did not want to move off of. I think that's kind of part of what's fun about the collecting journey is you're running the show. You are the director of the thing. You decide it and it can change. It can be one way today and it can be another way a year from now, 5 years from now. But your current collection is your inventory. It's inventory that can be used to get into other cool things as your tastes change or leveling up or leveling down or whatever you're trying to do. But man, opportunities abound nowadays. I think the bigger question, like we talk about, is will prices be even lower in 3 months, 6 months? What if, there's more of an exodus out on the higher end? A lot of big cards have moved down in price. That's no secret. And I wonder on the high end too, is there more of an exodus of people moving out of the high end? Because there's no shortage of people that have interest in the, the dollar boxes, the $5 boxes, the $10 slabs, that, and that makes me actually really optimistic that there's people that are just loving buying low end cards or mid end cards. That is a healthy market. When a market is too top heavy, where it's like the market cap, so to speak, is all locked in on huge cards, but nobody really cares about the lower to mid-end stuff, to me, that's not really a healthy market at all. Now, it's actually the opposite, where people are like, man, I just don't know if I want to have 6 figures wrapped up in a card or 5 figures, but on the lower to mid-end, there's a lot of really great opportunities and just a lot of really cool cards. I think some people might think that you have to spend $1,000 plus to get like a really cool card or a really rare card. There's a lot of really nice stuff in the $500 range, maybe like $500 to $750. There's stuff that's come way down. There's a lot of $2,000 cards that are now $750. You know, there's a lot of $750 cards that are now $150, $200. If you're a singles buyer, now, today, is really the best opportunity that you've had going back years. But I think, again, the question is, will 6 months down the road be even better than that? And that's the part that, of course, nobody knows. Nobody knows. I know a lot of people say in my comments, these things will continue to go down to 0 to 1 cent or whatever. The truth is, the sentiment is like that because we're just sitting in this bear market. Sentiment is down. Sentiment for a lot of cards is down, especially on the high end. But that can flip, that can change. You know, it might be very different in 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. It cycles. People will say we'll never see another pandemic type event again, and they might be right, but they might be wrong. You know, don't think that the government won't throw stimulus money back into the system the same way that they've done before. They've done it over time. I feel pretty confident that eventually they'll probably do it again. I don't think that's the last time that we're going to see stimulus money come in, and it's not going to be the last time that we see Fed fund rate being negative. All right, guys, a little fired up before football Sunday. My fantasy football team is in the toilet, but that's okay. We just keep on moving forward. Stay healthy, stay awesome, and I will talk to you again later.